Alright, welcome to more examples of equations of ellipses. So the last one was just on the notes. So then the rest of these are going to be examples from your assignment. Really, you can jump to kind of the complexity level that you want, but I'm going to work through kind of beginning. I'll kind of do an example from each section here and try and help you out. So let's start at the beginning. You need to first locate the vertices and foci of the ellipse, and then graph it. Well, it's awfully convenient that this is centered at 0, 0, so our center is just going to be at 0, 0, and that's because there's no extra things here with the x and y squared. Our vertices, to get that, you're going to go from your center, and you're going to go, in this case, horizontally, a distance of a. This is a squared, and so a is going to equal 6. So your vertices are going to be at 0, 0, and you're going to go left 6, so negative 6, 0. And then you're going to go right 6, so 6, 0. There. The foci, well, to get that, you're going to need c. And we don't have c right now. We do have b squared. And from the notes, you do need to remember that a squared is b squared plus c squared. It is not the same as the Pythagorean theorem. You do have to remember that. But we got a squared plus, well, a squared is b squared plus c squared. Let's just rearrange this equation a little bit so you can see just c squared equals a squared minus b squared, and I wrote this wrong. It turns out to b squared. And so that's how they're related here. So we're going to get c squared by taking a squared, 36, and subtracting b squared, which is 7. And that means c squared is going to be 29. And so to get c, you're going to square root it, which means c is the square root of 29. So now that we have c, you're going to start at 0, 0, and you're going to add and subtract this much on the horizontal part. Remember, the bigger number is under x, so it's a horizontal ellipse. And so we're going to take 0 and subtract square root of 29, so we're looking at negative square root of 29, 0. And then the other one's going to be adding square root of 29 to the x coordinate of our center. So you get this. So there's your center, your vertices. We're going to graph these 6, 0, and negative 6, 0, and then the foci at root 29 and negative root 29 along our x-axis. Square root of 29 is 5 point something or another, and so you're not going to be on an exact grid line there. But let's put these points down. Yeah, so those points are pretty close together. Since b squared 7, you're looking at b is the root 7, which is bigger than 2 but less than 3. So you're going to go up about 2.5 on either side. So you're looking at your ellipse going to be, oh, that was a bad line. But your ellipses don't have to be that great. They just need to look like, you know, ellipses. And there you go. So let's move on to another one. This one is also going to be centered at 0, 0, but you'll see that in a second. You do need it to equal 1, so you're going to divide everything by 36 to make it equal 1. And that'll give you, let's see, 9 over 36 is going to be 4 down there. Yeah, 9 36 is 1/4, yeah. And then you got y squared over, 9. 4 36 is 1/9. And that's going to equal 1. So now we got our a squared is 4, and we got our b squared is 9, which means a is 2, and b is 3. Our center, like I said earlier, is 0, 0. That's because there's nothing here with the x squared and the y squared. And then your vertices are the same. You're figuring out how far to go from your center. And actually, I labeled these letters wrong because I failed to notice that this number is bigger than this one. And so I need to adjust that. A is the bigger of the two, and B is the smaller one. So B is going to be 2, and A is going to be 3. So I'm going to go from my center, 0, 0, and go up and down 3, because it's a vertical ellipse, because that number on the bottom of Y is bigger. So it's going to be at 0, 3, and then at 0, negative 3. The foci, again, c squared is equal to a squared minus b squared. We figured that out here on our previous example. So we're going to plug those numbers in. C squared is 9 minus 4. C squared is 5, which means C is the square root of 5. And so I'm going to take my center and go up square root 5 and go down square root 5, which will yield this answer here. So now that we have this, we can graph our vertices, or 0, 3, 0, negative 3. Square root of 5 is just barely more than 2, so we can go a little bit farther out than 2, but not a whole lot. The b being 2 lets us know in this direction you're going to go left and right 2. So you can draw your ellipse now. It's pretty close to a circle, but not quite, because it's not the same horizontally as it is vertically. So there's that example. Let's move on to another one. Starting on this one, this is not the same 4 that's on that first page there. This is actually 4 on the next part. Sorry about that. The numbers just kind of repeat, but yeah, I'm sorry, you're going to have to deal with it. But yeah, we again need this to equal 1, so we're going to divide both sides by 18, divide by 18, divide by 18. So we got x minus 3 squared over 18, and we got plus 9 18ths is 1/2, so you got y plus 2 squared over 2, and it's going to equal 1. So, first things first, let's figure out if it's horizontal or vertical to make sure we know which one's A and B. The bigger number on the denominator is here, so this is going to be a horizontal. And so this is going to be a squared, which means a is going to be a square root of 18. It's not a convenient number. B squared is 2, which means b is the square root of 2. And we're going to need our c value. Remember, c squared is a squared minus b squared. C squared is going to equal 18 minus 2, which means c squared is 16, which means c is 4. A nice number. So we got C, we got A, and we got B. Yeah, so we got a bunch of important values here. The center is from our equation, and you have to remember that it's x minus h squared, and then y minus k squared. The h and k are the center. And so you're going to look at what's here. You got x minus 3, so h is 3. And then this is y plus 2. Adding 2 is the same as subtract negative 2, so the k value is negative 2. So to get our vertices, we're going to take our center and we're going to add and subtract a on the x coordinate here, the h value, which means we're going to have to do 3 plus root 18 and then 3 minus root 18, which are not very nice numbers, but go ahead and put it in your calculator and just do an approximation. So you're looking at 3 plus root 18, negative 2, and then 3 minus root 18, negative 2, and you can get a decimal approximation for those. Here, and I'll punch those in real quick. And you're looking at about 7.24 negative 2, and then about negative 1.24 negative 2. So these are the decimal approximations. These are the exact values, and we got our decimal approximations. The foci, again, you're going to take 3, and then you're going to be adding and subtracting 4. That's actually a much nicer calculation to do. So 3 minus 4 gives you negative 1. And then 3 plus 4 gives you 7, and you got your foci here. Luckily, you don't have to graph this. Let's move on to our next example. Actually, I'll put that in the next video. So if you really need the next things, you can go to the next video. Sorry about that.